Okay, bear with me 1 second. I
Right.
have a notebook.
Oh, your internet is a bit dodgy. So welcome everyone, and thank you for taking time out for the goal setting training session with the lovely Kizzy Fawley. So she will be obviously talking through how to write your goals down, set them, plan them, and ultimately achieve them with the Body Shop at Home. So Kizzy's going to be sharing a screen, and I will be typing up for our lovely BSLs. Let's begin. Over to you now, Kizzy.
Thank you. Can you see that? Can you see my screen all right now, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool, thank you. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know me, oh, why is it not letting me move on? There you go. My name's Kizzy, and I'm an executive manager within the business. I've been in the business for almost 2 years. I joined at the end of September in 2018. I only ever joined the business just to get a discount on my shopping and get the kit for myself. I was a bit of a kidnapper. Karita probably didn't know that at the time when I joined the business, because she wouldn't have let me in if she did. But I think my manager secretly knew that ultimately I would end up doing this as a business and get quite serious about it, because we'd been quite close for a year or so over social media before. So why am I qualified to talk to you about this particular topic? So in my corporate career, for almost 14 years, I worked in food manufacturing, and I was what is known as a continuous improvements manager. So I was basically set specific projects throughout the business, and I had to make improvements basically. So it was, how could we produce faster, quicker, cheaper, with less people, and all that kind of thing. So I got set massive financial objectives that I had to achieve, and it was my job to make it happen. I have been professionally trained in how to set goals, create plans, and ultimately achieve them. In my corporate career, the last project that I worked on, we had a 10-year-old £4 million wastage problem on our site. So we were literally flushing £4 million worth of milk down the drain. And I got tasked that I had to solve that problem and save 75% of it. I achieved that goal, and we actually did over the 75% because we knew what we needed to achieve, and we had a plan of how we would.
I can't hear you, Kizzy. Kizzy's gone.
Smart goals. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you now, so can you kind of go back to what you were saying like a minute ago?
Okay, so I've continued to practice and educate myself as part of my career change to direct selling. I've focused a lot of attention on things like mindset, visualization, the law of attraction, and how to set smart goals, which is something that I'm going to talk about shortly. I consider myself to be a bit of a goal getter. I love setting goals, and I know that from personal experience, if I set myself a goal and it's done in the right way, you can literally achieve anything that you want to achieve. There is no, goal that is too big. I know sometimes people worry about thinking too big. However, sometimes you need to. Your goals really want to kind of put you on that little edge of fear almost, so that you're pushing yourself constantly, because if you don't quite achieve the big goal, you're going to get somewhere closer. And by aiming high, you're always going to achieve higher than you expected, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to show you some of the things that I have achieved. I'm not going to go through each one individually, but you can have a little read of what's on the screen there and take a screenshot if you want to read it in detail later. I don't want people to think that I am telling you these things because I want to show off, or I want to boast or brag about what I've achieved. I tell people this all the time because I want to show people what is possible. I'm very proud of what I've achieved in my time in direct selling, and it makes me quite emotional to think about the things that I've actually achieved. And I want you guys to be inspired to know that you can achieve similar things, more if that's what you want to do. So one of the most important things for me, and one of the reasons why I wanted to move into direct selling full time, was because I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have a baby, and I knew that when I did that, I wouldn't want to go back to work. There was no way that I could have gone back to my corporate career working ridiculous hours, 6-7 days a week, and be away from my baby. I wanted to be there for all of those firsts. So it was really important to me to focus on that goal and to get into a position where I was working from home full time. And I've now been doing that for 2 years. So that's like the biggest thing that I have achieved. But when I first joined this business, when I first joined direct selling, my goal was literally, I wanted to get product for free myself. I wasn't working with the Body Shop when I first started direct selling. I was working with a different company, and I just joined because I wanted to buy a product, and the girl that was selling it lured me in by saying, oh, well, if you sell a few, you can get yours for free. And that was it. And then slowly but surely, my goals started to become a little bit bigger, and I thought, I want to, just earn £100 a month so that I can pay off my credit card and still go out and do nice things. And then it progressed from there. And every month and every year, my goals got bigger and bigger and bigger. So since I've been in this business, I've set myself some small goals. Like, I wanted to buy a fancy Hoover. It's really like, I feel really old for having set that goal. And it's something like people in their 30s kind of get to that point where they stop talking about nights out and holidays and things like that and start getting excited about things like Hoovers and washing machines. So I wanted to buy myself a nice fancy Hoover, and I achieved that. I also have just been able to order a brand new sofa, and I've paid in cash for it, not had to put it on credit. And these sort of things, my goals started to escalate. So the amount of, the size of the goal almost has increased as my career has progressed in this industry. And now I'm sitting here in a position where I've set myself a goal to save £20,000 deposit towards a house by the end of this year, which is absolutely massive. And if somebody had have told me, 2 years ago when I first joined this business, that I'd be setting goals like that now, I wouldn't have believed them. To be sat here thinking about having my own region and breaking away from Region Zodiac scares the freaking life out of me. However, it just goes to show how quickly your goals and dreams and the desires that you have for your life can actually escalate. And I want to encourage you guys to dream big. Don't be restricted by things that you have previously been taught or told are right, or whatever it is, anything that people have, told you throughout your life, stop you from thinking that you can have something different. Because I grew up in an environment where I was told, you go to school, you get good grades, you get a good job, work hard until you retire, and if you're lucky enough you can retire a little bit early, and I think that's quite a similar environment to what most people grow up in and get told. So it can be quite restrictive and stop you from thinking that there's potential for something better or something different out there. So why is goal setting important? As that quote there says, a dream without a plan is just a wish. Okay, so you can wish for things until you're blue in the face, but if you don't actually turn that wish into a goal and really think about how you're going to achieve it, you're never going to get there. It's that simple. If you don't start to write that goal in the correct way so that it becomes a goal rather than just a wish, you're never going to get there. You need to have a plan. Sometimes things will happen as a result of dumb luck. Sometimes we do get lucky, and sometimes you'll have lots of sales coming in and you'll have lots of people joining your business, and it all almost seems to have just come out of nowhere. However, studies have shown that people who set clear goals and write them down are 10 times more likely to achieve them. And that is absolutely massive, the difference that you can make. Instead of just sitting there thinking something in your head, actually taking the time to write it down and really think about it and put some attention onto it, the difference, the likelihood of you achieving it is just staggering. So the way that we set our goals is very, very important. You need to be very, very specific, and you need to be very clear about what it is that you want and what you want to achieve. Okay, so SMART goals is something that I used in my corporate career, and it's really simple. It basically encourages you to make sure that you're setting your goal in the right way. Okay, so as you can see here, SMART is an anagram for, you know, the different things that fit within it. So S, specific. You need to be really specific about what it is that you want. You need to be able to measure it. So it needs to be something that you can measure so that you know that you've easily achieved it. Achievable. So is it within your power to accomplish it? And is it realistic? So achievable and realistic are kind of similar. Can you realistically, physically do it? Okay. So saying, for example, sitting here today and saying, I want to be regional manager by the end of September. I'm not saying it's completely unachievable. However, it would be very, very difficult. So you need to be realistic about it. So if you're sat here as a consultant today, it might be a little bit more realistic to say, by the end of September, I want to be an area manager or a senior area manager even. So you don't want to over set your goal and realistic, because that will just lead to disappointment and you'll feel like a failure. So you want to push yourself a little bit, but you also need to be realistic about what you can physically achieve and what you're capable of. And then you also need to make sure that you set a timeline for your goal and know when it is that you want to have achieved it by. So here's an example for you. So you could sit there and say, I want to be an area manager. Okay, that is no good, because it doesn't tell you or anybody else anything really. It says you want to be an area manager, but do you really? When do you want to do it by? You know, it's not specific. So what you want to do is to change that to the version below. So by the last day of September 2020, I will be an area manager. So you're not saying you want to be, you're putting it as if it's already happened. Okay, so you're constantly sending yourself that message that I will be an area manager by that specific date. It's very specific, it's very realistic. If you are sat here as a consultant today, you could achieve area manager by the end of September. It's the 1st of August, you've got 2 months, okay? I know there'll be some people sat there saying, no, I can't do that. You need to have a little bit more belief in yourself, because when I joined the business, bearing in mind that I didn't join this business to do a business, I fast-tracked to area manager within my first 2 months in the business. And the business sets out the fast track title advancement bonus. You get 2 months to achieve area manager when you first join the business. So it's more than achievable, and we have lots of people doing it. But yeah, the way that you word this is very, very important. As I say, you need to do it as if you've already achieved it and be very, very specific. Something else that you want to think about is, are you setting this goal because it's what you really, really want? Or are you setting it as what you think other people think you should be doing, or because what you've seen other people doing? If you say you want to be an area manager, for example, why do you want to be an area manager? Do you understand what being an area manager entails to start with, and what it's going to give to you from a financial point of view or a reward point of view? Sometimes it's quite easy to look at other people with a little bit of envy and think, oh yeah, I want what she's got, for example. However, it needs, in order for you to achieve that goal, to really believe in it and to really connect with it, then it needs to be very, very personal, and it almost needs to get you to that point where you are very emotional about it and you are emotionally connected to it. Because if it isn't really what you want, you're not going to be as motivated to achieve it. So something that a lot of people do, and something that I do, is I create a vision board. Now, a vision board is basically like a pin board, or it could be the front of your fridge, or a little space on your wall in your house somewhere. It could even be a page in the front of your notebook. If you haven't got somewhere to physically stick something up, you can just create it on a bit of paper and have it stood up somewhere. A lot of people like to do vision boards, and they can be really, really helpful because they're a point of focus when you're having those days where you just feel a bit like there and you can't be bothered to go on. If you're having a little bit of a bad day and you're tired and the kids are driving you crazy and the husband's driving you crazy and the dogs are driving you crazy and all that sort of stuff, and you just feel like you really cannot be bothered, having a vision board is a really good place to kind of go and look and refocus yourself on why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, so vision boards don't just have to include things like your goals, they can also include your reason why you're doing this business. So you might have a photo of your family up there, for example, or you might have an inspirational quote that's really meaningful to you, something that always makes you feel motivated and inspired. And then, as I say, on there you're also going to put things that you want to achieve within the business. So what you don't want to do is to just grab pictures off of Google. Okay, I've seen throughout my time in direct selling so many people put pictures on their profile of things like Range Rovers and Louboutin shoes, for example. You know, some people like have never been into a shop and tried on a pair of Louboutins, but because they see their upline or a senior manager buying them, for example, they think, oh yeah, I want that, because it's like a status symbol. But really, they don't want a pair of Louboutin shoes. You know, they could be the most ridiculous, uncomfortable pair of shoes you've ever bought, but you've put them on your vision board and they're probably going to cost you, I don't even know how much they cost, about £700 a pair of shoes probably, you know. And if you don't really want them, that's not motivating you, you know, that's not going to get you where you want to be. So there's just a little bit of an example here for you. Coming back to my fancy Hoover again. I've never owned a fancy Hoover. Okay, I grew up in a house where my mum was quite OCD, and she always had a Dyson, and she literally used to Hoover about 3 times a day. And when I've lived, you know, on my own, away from my family, I've always had a rubbish Hoover. When me and Dan first moved in together, we bought a Hoover out of, I think it was a studio catalogue, and we bought it on credit. It was about 50 quid and it was absolutely diabolical. It didn't work well at all. And I was like, when I've got money to just spend how I want to spend, I want to buy a really, really fancy Hoover. So I didn't really know what Hoover I wanted. I kind of assumed that I wanted a Dyson because that's what my mum had always had, and I thought that was like the best brand. But I did quite a bit of what you might call research. I asked my audience on Facebook like what Hoovers they had, and I did a bit of shopping around. And what I could have done is I could have just gone onto Google and got this picture here of this Dyson and just stuck that up on my vision board. But I didn't know if that was what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted. So what I did was I went into Currys PC World and I had a look. And in Currys, you can kind of get them off the shelf and you can have a little drive around with them and you can have a little play with them. And that was what I did. And I decided in the end that the Shark was what I wanted. I specifically wanted the black and rose gold one, just because I'm a brat and I had to have that specific one. But I'd been there, I'd touched and felt it, and I was emotionally connected with this item. Okay, so that is, I know it seems a bit silly and I laugh about it, but that is the importance when it comes to your goals, is you need to be really emotionally connected to it, and you know, it be something that you really, really want, because otherwise that's not going to motivate you, as I say, to go out there and get what you want and to progress within your business. So really, really think about it. Don't rush to set it. Take some time to really concentrate on what you want and why you want it. Because as I say, there's no good saying, I want to be an area manager, if actually you need to be earning £10,000 a month, you need to be much further up the career plan, for example. So really, really think about what you want and understand why you want it as well. So accountability. Studies have shown that you are 65% more likely to complete a goal if you make yourself accountable to someone to complete it. Okay. If you have a specific appointment to report your progress towards that goal, your chance of achieving it increases by a whopping 95%. Okay. So by committing to another person about your goals, then you're more likely to achieve them, basically. If you're only accountable to yourself, then it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't really matter if you don't achieve it, because you can tell yourself, oh, it's all right. However, if you've got to go to somebody else and report to them how you're progressing with it, you're more likely to achieve it because you feel that joint accountability and you don't want to let that person down. You also don't want to feel embarrassed if you have to go to that person and say, I've not done it. So you're more likely to achieve your goals if you make yourself accountable to somebody. So I want you to have a little think about who your accountability partner could be. Quite often it works best to have an accountability partner who is in your business, so in the Body Shop, but not necessarily in your immediate team. Okay, so having somebody else who understands the business and what you're trying to achieve can help, but sometimes if your accountability partner is somebody directly close to you within the business, so a downline to you or an upline to you, your behavior in that business is linked to their performance as well as your own. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I didn't really say that very clearly. So if, for example, my accountability partner was my manager, Naomi, what I'm doing in my business has a direct impact on her business. So she could have a biased opinion about what I'm doing. So she could be encouraging me to do something that maybe I don't necessarily want to do because it would benefit her business for me to do something else. I hope that makes sense. So sometimes, your accountability partner could be somebody not in the business at all. Sometimes it's good to have somebody who can look at your business objectively without being influenced by anything that's going on in the business. And they can help you to make different decisions and think about things differently. So have a little think about somebody that you could potentially share accountability with, and as it works both ways, so you hold each other accountable for actions. It can be your manager. If you want it to be your manager, that's absolutely no problem at all, and your manager will be more than happy to do it. So if you don't have somebody else that you can do it, the manager can do it, or even maybe the next manager above. So that person could be usually partners. It could be your partner, your husband, boyfriend. However, it tends to be, and they're always a bit like dubious about the business. And I know a lot of people have sometimes difficult relationships with their partners when it comes to business because they don't really believe in it necessarily and things like that. But sometimes partners, like my partner, is very supportive, so he would be a great accountability partner. But try to choose somebody who will be objective and will also be able to challenge you. So if you report to them or haven't done it, they're going to be a little bit challenging and not just go, oh, that's okay, then don't worry about it. You want somebody to say, well, why haven't you done it? What do you need to do differently to make sure you do it? What support do you need to make sure you do it? And that kind of thing. So my challenge to you guys is, I want you to set a new goal, okay? Now, this could actually be a goal that you've already set, but maybe you didn't set it in the right way. So reset that goal, okay? But do it in, using the SMART method. So make it specific and rewrite the way that you're saying it, if that makes sense. So share it with your manager or your other accountability partner. The great thing about sharing it with your manager is that your manager can help you to understand how to get there. So your knowledge of the career plan and the rewards available to you from a financial point of view, etc., you may not be that experienced with it. However, your manager can help you with a plan of how to get there. If you have a financial goal, for example, and you want to earn a certain amount of money a month, your manager can help you with, okay, you would therefore need to be, whatever it might be, a senior area manager, and have a business with this much income, you know, to give you that much output for yourself. They can also help you with obviously other goals around other things. It doesn't have to be financial, but sharing it with your manager will help, because as I say, they will be able to help you with a plan to get there. What we want to see you do is set a goal, smash it, set a new one, and repeat. If you use this method of setting goals and you set them in the right way, focus your attention and energy on them, look upon them in a positive light, you will achieve them, and I can 100% promise you that. I'm a very big believer that you can achieve absolutely anything that you want to in this life. You just have to ask for it and know that you deserve it, because if you don't ask and you think you don't deserve it, you're never going to get it. So all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And the very famous Walt Disney said that. Disney is a massive influence on my life, and I've had Disney in my life for as long as I can remember, since I was a tiny little kid. And I do think that it teaches us a lot. There's a lot there that we can learn from, but it's all about dreaming and being courageous and knowing that you can have everything that you want in life. So once you've set your goal, we'd love for you to share them. If you want to put a post onto Region Zodiac to talk about what your goals are, we would love to hear them. By sharing it with the region, you make yourself accountable to the region as well. So almost the whole region becomes your accountability partner, which is a little bit scary. I know, to have potentially 800 people watching you. But if you're the sort of person that likes to have that little bit of pressure, and positive pressure, I don't mean pressure in a bad way, but to know that you've put yourself out there and made yourself accountable to the region, especially if you don't have support around you necessarily at home, it could really, really help you, because everybody in the region is really supportive and encouraging. And it would be lovely for us to see you post your goals now and come back in 2 months' time or a year's time, or whenever it is that you achieve them, and to tell us that you've achieved them. It'd be lovely to help you celebrate them and to see you on that journey. It's also really encouraging and inspiring for other people to see that as well. So please feel free to share it on the region if you would like to. And that's it. That's all from me.
Right, so thank you, Kizzy. Are there any questions that we have? Are there any questions, anyone? Okay, let's give it a couple of minutes. No, are we all shy?
I'm going to be area manager by the end of August.
Okay, right, we've got, need to pop Amy on mute. Right, so Millie, can you suggest any further reading, mindset and goal set reading? So any good books that you've managed to sort of find which are good?
Yeah, I've got a massive list. What I'll do is I will put a post onto Region Zodiac with some recommendations of books and things, because depending upon, you know, like you say, specifically what it is, if it's mindset or it is goal setting and how to break things down, there's loads of different stuff that you can read. So I'll put a list of good books. They're quite easy. Some of the ones as well, they're quite easy to digest, because I'm not very good at sitting and reading big fat books. I like the ones that come and they're about that thin, and I know that I can read it in a couple of hours. So yeah, I've got some that I can recommend. That's no problem.
Right, and I can see that Rebecca is aiming her small goal. Fantastic. So this is a small goal, to achieve area manager by the end of October. I can tell you now, Rebecca, you can actually achieve area manager by the end of this month if you believe in yourself. And guess what? Yes, your timeline, you're thinking October is achievable. That's brilliant. So let's start now, because you might actually surprise yourself and promote out by the end of August. But guess what? If you don't, you will have grown a bigger business. You will have introduced more people. And then we set your goal for September. And if you don't do it by September, it's not a problem. You will eventually promote out in October. But let's look at setting your goal now, timelining yourself, because I can tell you now, your business will grow so much bigger and faster if you decide to do it now. You know, so whoever's team you are in, Rebecca, I'm going to look you up, my love. I'll be in touch with your manager, because you've already put a little stake in the ground. And ultimately, you know, it's great that you're calling it a small goal. The next big step would be senior area manager. So yeah, I can't wait to watch your journey. Let's see, Becky, I'm going to set my goal to get area manager this month. Absolutely fantastic. We've got a 5-week month, so you know, I can see record-breaking promote outs at the beginning, at the end of this month. Do not miss out on a whole month's income. Imagine going into September as an area manager. You are setting yourselves up for an amazing peak. Promoting out at the end of October is great. Yep, you'll receive all of the November payouts, etc. But to me, you need to be looking at, if you're wanting to aspire to promote out as an area manager and be a leader in this business in time for Christmas, the latest would be September. You want to go into October and November, which are the biggest selling months of the year, as an area manager, to be earning 6% off your whole team sales. So if you are interested, I am going to be starting off the Rising Signs group. I know some businesses are doing boot camps, and hopefully you guys have actually seen the difference already that it's made on your business. However, I'll be starting a region Rising Signs group once again, starting on Monday, so I'll be announcing that a little bit later. But we can help you achieve your goals. We just need to know what your goals are, and we can help you achieve them on the how, okay? Because it's like Kizzy said earlier on, there's no point in you just going, yeah, I want to be area manager. Okay, you could be area manager in 2, 3, 4 years time. However, if you set yourself a timeline, we can work towards that timeline. And if you don't achieve it by that timeline, don't beat yourself up about it. Look at how far you've come from where you set that goal. Okay, so we can look at that, and you know, you've got your managers there who will help you. You know, they all set a goal to achieve area manager, so they can absolutely teach you what they've done. Right, so what I am going to do is, oh, that's good. Some people are actually writing in the closed captions as well, are they? I'm not sure. Let's have a quick look before we finish off and do the draw. So that's Amy. Do you want to save up 3,500 for mum and dad? We've heard your story. That's amazing, and I'm sure you'll do that. Rebecca, you've already got a post up going out today, and Amy is your manager. Fantastic. Charlotte Parsons, you will be area manager by the end of August. It's your birthday month, and you're 10,000. And do you see what? Do you see what I mean? Your downline has already done £10,000 sales, but you're not area manager. So that is something that has inspired you to make sure you're not losing out on that income. Sue's got a goal of senior manager by the end of September. Absolutely, that is achievable. Look for your mini-me's. Linda got last month's goal. You achieved last month's goals, and this month is sales. Fantastic. So you know what you need to work on, Linda. Fantastic. And Becky, you reached your goal for this month. You hit level 3, which is amazing. So once you can do that, you can do it again. That's what I always say. So even if you might have those knockbacks and you haven't achieved your goal, always remember that you did achieve your goal. Okay, you have done it once, you can do it again. So please do. I've posted as well on the on Region Zodiac about the monthly sales promotions. I would love to see what you want to achieve this month. There's over £144 worth of seasonal products and new products available for you guys. It's helping you set up for an amazing peak. So please share your what you want to achieve, because that's when your managers know that you can achieve those goals and obviously earn along the way. Brilliant. Okay, so let's do the draw. So can Sam come off?
Yep.
Okay, I have got, yeah, if you can do 2 draws for me, please. And then, because I have got shed loads of these selfie lights, what I want to now get rid of. So let's do 2 names. Let me just find my list to add. Okay. So who's the first person, please? How many people were entered? We have 17 on the call.
There was 19, a couple have dropped off.
Okay.
Ticket number 1 is Connor Williams.
Well done, Connor. First ticket, Connor Williams. Connor, can you please message me your address? Excellent. Okay. And
The
one.
second one is Charlotte Parsons.
Whoa, Charlotte Parsons, it's your lucky day, lucky week. Second time round, she's won. Well done, Charlotte. I've already got your address, so that's fine. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope you've got some value out of this and that it's inspired you to obviously smash your goals, set your dreams high, and obviously we can help you along the way. And as you can see, Kizzy is a prime example, okay, of achieving those goals. And thank you so much, Kizzy, for sharing, my darling. And today we've got one more session, which is very apt to start your goal setting with your sales. Emma Chadbone is joining us at 1 p.m. to share some top tips on goals, etc. So I shall see you all soon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. See you later. Thank you.